Good morning, Matt
Well,
Cooper. How's it going, buddy?
hey man, what's going on, Ryan Owens? Glad to be a part of your show this morning.
It's
Talk to you about what's going on in my life. But first,
Yeah,
let's
that's
talk
what I
about what's
want to
going
hear
on in
about
your life,
today.
Ryan. What's
It's the
going on in
show.
your life first? Get me
Hey,
motivated, buddy.
yeah, we're just right now, we're just connecting. We're staying physically distanced, but more socially connected than ever. I haven't seen you in a while, and look at us now. Look what technology's doing. It's Coop and Owens back together.
We are hanging out virtually. No, it's
Yeah,
fun though.
yeah,
I,
man.
you know, I like, there's always lessons to be learned. And in this particular situation, just think about it. Like you're not able to see anybody for a few months. I mean, we even have family. I haven't seen family in a month or two, and so you're really starting to appreciate, the gift of family and the love that they create. And to not even be able to see them, and it makes you appreciate all your friends. And how are we gonna catch back up? And I think everybody is planning all types of events and types of stuff so that we can all everybody can get together. But for now, this is cool, the virtual Zoom calls, and it's fun
Yeah.
to see you, bro. It looks like you need a haircut just like me, man.
Bro, I need a
That's why I'm
haircut
wearing a hat.
bad. But you know what? I knew I was getting on with you today, and I got a couple of things to make. I even wore pants today. It's usually been business up top, quarantine on the bottom. I even put a belt on for you, bro. Look at this. I got a belt.
Wow,
I mean,
man,
that's
that's
what I was
awesome.
feeling about seeing you today, but I do need a haircut. You remember the
That's great.
Flowbee back in the day? Remember the thing?
Yeah,
It was like a vacuum and it cut your hair. Dude, I don't know why
just
they're
put
not
a
bringing
bowl,
that
just
back.
put a bowl on here, or put a hat on there, and let Angela just give you a
Yeah,
nice little
right.
cut, man. You'll be
She'll
good.
chop me up. She will chop
So
me
one of
up.
my I consider him a good friend of mine. He was a barber before he became a realtor, and
Do
man,
I
he's
know
been telling me
him?
he's gonna
I
come
think
get
he's
me a
cut my
haircut
hair
over the last
before.
2 days. I think you might know him actually. I
I
think he
think
has
he's
cut
cut
your
my
hair.
hair. So yeah.
Yeah. So if he watches this, man, I hope he hears it. We're all scruffy, man. Start calling us up. I think the lawn care company just pulled in.
Hey,
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
they're
give him a little shout out.
yeah, let's give him a shout out.
We
What
got Matt
company is that
Archibald,
there in Brandon, Florida?
lawn enforcement. They're actually a great company right here, located in Brandon, Florida. I'm gonna go inside so he can do his thing.
Okay,
And
cool.
you
Yeah,
guys
he's
can
probably
hear
gonna
me.
get rowdy out there around the bushes.
Thanks, Matt.
So we were just talking about it.
We,
I mean, you're diversifying a little bit. You're hanging out at the house, but you're spending time with the fam. Sounds like you got a honey-do list going on. How's that going? Is the wifey keeping you busy?
you can see her back there. She's a homeschool
Hello.
teacher now.
She says she's a
I think
homeschool teacher.
she's a homeschool teacher now.
I
Yeah,
know.
she works at Progressive full time, so she's
Um,
doing a lot,
busy.
keeping the family together and fed and clean, and so
Yeah. How old
that's
is your boy now?
my son Camden. He actually turned 6 in March.
6. That's awesome.
Yep.
How
So
is 6 life? How's the 6 life?
it's actually pretty cool, and I feel like in his eyes, man, he went from 5 to 16, and then he really thinks he's a grown adult now at 6 years old, and
Oh
then he jumps
no.
on his bike and he's riding with no training wheels, and like learned that in 2 days, and it was just super cool to see somebody just like keep falling. You come back out 20 minutes later, and next they're just ripping down the road, and you're like, man, fail forward, it just like kind of reminds you, nobody just wakes up and they're great at what they do. Riding a bike is a perfect example, and watching a 6-year-old try to learn how to do that, man, it can definitely bring back some laws of success. You know what I mean?
Laws of success. Yeah, it's all the law is perfect and it's working all the time. And so you just mentioned something that I wanted to dive into because we're going to bring some value to somebody today. And you're somebody who's failed forward and come to some great success with starting a team. I just asked you, and you told me you have a team of 9 now. Everyone's making changes and they're at their house. And tell me a little bit about, maybe we should. I don't know if we want to talk about the entire path or we want to talk about where we're at right now. What's it like for everybody leading a team of 9 during these times right now?
Well, it's actually, what makes it a little harder on me versus I feel like in the past is that we brought on a
Yeah.
few admin, and we have a weekly pay now to some of those guys. And because with this scare, we caused a few buyers and sellers to turn back out a few different deals, which is fine. And then also what it's doing is A lot of agents feel that they can't really work. So, why put the calling in right now and doing any efforts in right now if you can't even go out and show houses in essence? So
Yeah.
you're losing a lot of realtors because maybe they feel stuck, or they don't really know what to do right now.
Yeah.
And maybe not even just realtors, it's just business, small businesses in general. They just feel kind of stuck. And so for us personally, what we try to have a meeting every single Monday, and our team, I just try to motivate everybody, try to wind them up and send them back in the world. And I just keep telling them this is going to end soon, and you want to be the one that's standing at the end of this with a whole bunch of closings, versus, oh man, I got to go back to work and grind now, and in 3 months I'll have some closings type of thing.
Yeah.
And so, I'm actually showing houses today, as a matter of fact. I have been showing houses all week long. We have listings, about 10 listings, 2 more going up this week. And I'm just trying to work hard. I'm trying not to look at the media and all what's going on. And I'm staying
There we
just
go.
in my own mind. Just, I'm more of a religious type of guy. So I feel like, my God's going to fight this battle for us, and I really shouldn't have anything to worry about. And I need to just keep going.
Yeah.
I haven't had the signs yet to really shake me. And I have sympathy for anybody that has had anybody close to them. It hasn't happened to me. I haven't known anybody personally yet. So it's hard for me to really rationalize, I guess, it. And all I see is small businesses and really a lot of people struggling. That we've been out of work, not us, so to say. I've been able to keep thriving because I'm more of an entrepreneurial job. But if we're going on a month 2 now, and I'm sure it was a struggle for everybody to make the April bills, for if you haven't been able to work for a month, especially like hospitality and those type of people. And now it looks like we're going to go into another month. And so all the bills will be due again. And I know there's a stimulus, but it's $1,200. How far is that going to really get you? That's definitely a help. As a
Right.
matter of
In
fact,
Central Florida here, it is a help though.
yeah, and it's going to help some families out, which everybody deserves that. But to hold people out a whole nother month, my opinion is maybe a little brazen, but I just think that we need to turn everything back on within the next few weeks. And I think it's going to take time anyways for people to adjust back to the new norm. Just think 21 days develops a habit. Everybody's been sitting home, waking up when they want, doing whatever they want. The last thing they want to do is, and that's what makes this tough, because you have 2 sides of the story. You have some people, like, we'll use like my lady for an example. She gets to work from home, and nothing really changed for her in essence. She was already working from home 3 out of the 5 days a week. So now she's working home 5 days a week. Her pay doesn't change. They actually gave her a pretty big bonus through this. And so in her eyes, she's like, hey, let's keep the world shut down for the next, 3 months. She doesn't care. You know what I mean? But then you have the other side of the spectrum that's like, no, turn this thing back on. I'm losing everything. I haven't been able to work in 30 days, and now another 60 days, 90 days without making pay. That's can really wipe families out. And so I'm kind of in the middle. I have sympathy for both sides. Maybe because I'm young and healthy, I feel like, hey, let's turn the world back on. If you have symptoms, just stay home. Wear a mask, try to stay 6 feet from people, try to use caution, but let's just start getting things going. I feel like we're in the cross between everything anyways. I mean, just think like Publix and all the stores are open. Everybody's going and touching everything. What's the difference between, having that open versus having this business open? And so if they're going to keep everything shut down, they might as well. And I know this is definitely people don't want to hear this, but I thought about this the other day. And if they're going to keep everything, if they're going to keep everything shut down, they need to make the playing field even and just cut everybody's pay off and let everybody feel the pain. And so let's see and then that way we can see really, we get the emotional stuff out of the way, and we start thinking logically. And so I get it, man. This is a virus, and it's could be devastating, and money isn't everything. But at the end of the day, you have obligations, and the last thing you want to do, the world's going to kick back on, is be behind on everything in life. Oh, your mortgage company 3 months because you took you didn't pay your phone bill. They gave you 2 months off. You get piled up. Now you owe 15 grand. You're in the hole because of all this stuff. And so we have to start thinking a little logically, and let's be strong about this. And and fight it in our own way by staying strong and staying active and staying positive. Let's put that, our energy, you can't see energy, but you can feel it. And you can't see this virus, but you can feel it. So we have positive energy and we just get back out in the world, that energy is going to fight this. And we're going to just get out and keep, the world's going to go. And if you feel scared, I get it. Stay home. If you feel that you're more prone to get this, wear a mask. If you have symptoms, again, stay home. I mean, it really, you can't, I don't know. I'm not a politic. I really don't get into any politics stuff, and I try not to get any religious stuff, but I think
sure, but you're a man of faith though. So it's just part of your character.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
well, man, I like what you said there. And I mean, it sounds like you're a man of faith. You're trying to motivate your team. You know, you have 9 people out there. Some are having a weekly pay. Some are, you know, struggling the battle that a lot of us are, being at home. Do we put in the work right now and plant the seeds so that we can harvest at the time? And then you mentioned a lot of good points for people that are really feeling this, and people are really thriving, or people that are indifferent because things are still kind of staying the same for them too. So that, I know that faith in you, that young healthiness that you have, and that entrepreneurial spirit is driving you through this right now. And that's why I was looking forward to getting you on here, because you're the type of person who's not laying down right now. And you're not only doing that, you're a father, you're a husband, you're a business owner, you're a motivator. It sounds like you're diving into counseling too, because when you have people on your team, and there's times like this, you start stepping into new roles. Now you're a therapist and a team leader and all of that. So I know I know you're going to stay ahead and stay on top of things. And I want to motivate people that are out there right now that are trying to figure out ways to pivot in their business right now. You said agents are trying to figure out what they can do right now. And are you seeing anybody, even if it's not on your team, who's pivoting to a more digital style, virtual open houses, virtual presentations, listing presentations, and all of that? Are you seeing that out there? And can that be something that can be brought into the team? And do you think that's even worth anything right now?
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing that we've been super focused on, is how do we make this virtual? And it's funny, me and you've been talking about videos since we started this 5 years ago.
Time.
And, you know, right now, video, I mean, video's always been power, but how powerful is it now to, I actually had a seller that didn't want to show the house, and they sent us a link of their virtual tour. And so the buyer would have in essence, made a sight unseen offer, you know? So, I mean, this is the way real estate is, and videos and marketing also as well, you know, creating ads and promoting them on Facebook and Instagram, and just really doing maybe some motivational stuff and some coaching, trying to help people, you know, just get people through these times, you know. However, if you have a message for somebody that might help one person to push through, to see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know, that message should be out there. And so, I think the video and the virtual stuff, it's a lot easier. I think people are realizing it's easier to reach the mass versus trying to one by one it. And you can put an ad out there in front of 20,000 people versus trying to call 20,000, you know, it would be impossible. So this is a time where you're learning, even if you never did it before, now's the time, maybe even here in this call with you, Ryan, bringing this up, that can encourage some people just to really implement some video, some virtual, some flyers on Facebook, some ads. Let them go. Let people know who you are on the internet.
Yeah. I think if anything, I want, you know, stuff to come out of this. We're 2 fathers sitting at home right now, you know, with entrepreneurial spirits, trying to advance and not lay down and really move forward. And video's been around for a long time. And how do we make use of our business where we're, you know, trying to maintain our business with being physically distanced from people? So I think that like you said, do people know you? How can we get one to many? And video is going to be that thing. And I see a lot of agents pivoting from virtual open houses to buying Google Cardboard, which I suggested the other day, and sending that out because it fits right in an envelope to buyers and sellers, while you're able to do not just a Matterport. You don't have to do that, but you can do you can get 360 videos for very cheap and put it in the middle of the properties and have people even go virtually through the house. They feel a little bit more immersed. I mean, just little things, all kinds of tweaks happening there. And it's really interesting to see, how we can use video to get to our buyers and sellers and have agents give them something to look forward to. Because I don't think this is going away after the dust settles from the virus. I think that with all the millennials hitting the market, 2021, there's going to be millions and millions of millennials who are video focused, technology forward. And how do we get prepared right now? Get away from all the media, get away from all the news feed politics and all the back and forth, and just really dive in so that we come out of this. It's like the difference between forbearance and forgiveness. I know you've been hearing a lot about that as a real estate agent. People are thinking that they're going to be able to have this 12-month period of not paying a mortgage, or even 90 days, and not realizing that you have to pay the piper after that. So your mortgage is $2,000 a month. You have 3 months off. That's $8,000 owed at the end of that 90-day period. And, we don't want to lay down right now. So do you think that the team, or what's your main area of real estate? Just because I know you have many pursuits, and because you're entrepreneurial, but where's your main area? Brandon, would you say?
Oh yeah, my area is Brandon, South Tampa, Channel Side, Riverview. Those are pretty much the most areas I work for the most part.
Yeah, and
more the East Hillsborough side of things.
What do you think is the best thing that's going to motivate someone like you out there who has a team and everybody's at home? I mean, we can even have have God give us some inspiration right now. Like, what is something we can give out to our team right now to help them to feel like they can do something right now?
Absolutely. So I actually just did a Zoom call the other day, and there's 5 steps you guys can do. First thing,
boom,
is staying motivated, watching YouTube videos, YouTube University. Man, you know how much stuff I've learned this last few weeks just on YouTube, how to connect this to that and this and that, and just so much stuff you can learn off YouTube. All right. So keep learning, watch motivational videos. Number 2 is you're going to market at a high level. Every day you're going to post stuff on your Facebook and your Instagram twice a day. You're going to run at least 1 or 2 new ads on your pages every single week. Every single week, we're going to be sending out at least 1 or 2 emails. Every single week, we're going to be calling our clients up and letting them know that we're still here to help them out. And so the step number 3 is the lead generation part. Lead generating at a high level, calling people that we do not know. So for example, for sell by owners, expired listings, even now we're stepping into the pre-foreclosure stuff. And we even are doing business to business. Business to business. Let me just tell you this. So
let's dive in on that.
This is just another way to lead gen. So we called last week or a few weeks ago, we were calling business to business, and we got to E. We were just going A through Z, just to kind of jog our memory. And we got to E, and we were like electrician. And we do have a few electricians, but we were just like, hey, how can we lead generate this? Let's Google electricians, for example, and it would pull a bunch up. So we called probably 10 electricians and only got a hold of this one guy. As we're talking to him, we're just basically telling him, hey, we're looking for a good electrician to promote to our clients. Would you be interested? And he's like, absolutely. And the mix of that, if you know anybody looking to sell a house, just let us know. And, it's kind of like you pat our back, we'll pat your back. Send us your logos and stuff. We'll even promote it to our clients or whatnot. And so he was like totally on board. He goes, by the way, I actually do have a house. It's listed right now with an agent. It's been on the market for over 250 days. And he's like, and I'm just tired of it. I haven't talked to the guy in like 3 months and blah, blah, blah. So he invited me over to do like a listing presentation, and the guy decided, okay, I'll go ahead and work with you. Got rid of the other agent. We listed. Same week, went under contract for exactly the same price as I told the listing, the seller. And we're under contract. Everything is super smooth. We actually just got through the inspection period. And now the guy called me. He's like, man, everything is so smooth. I have another house. And so in this mix, by calling vendors and seeing if they needed any help, coming from contribution, how can you help people out? It makes the call a lot easier. We have one closing guarantee for May 5th. And not to like talk about the money part, but the gross commission on it is about, $8,500. So,
right.
That will take us, another few weeks in business, so you have to work through this time, and that will close May 5th. And who knows what the government says? The government can say, hey guys, close down for another 30 days. Well, guess what? We have a closing for May 5th. And so we actually have a bunch of closings in April. We just went under contract again last night on a $700,000 listing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're still working hard, but I just wanted to kind of touch base on like how business to business can really help you out. The fourth thing is creating some type of database to put all this data in, storing the names, phone numbers, emails, even going beyond and getting like birthdays or even their home anniversaries and stuff. And it just gives you a reason to call and touch base with people. It also, you can create different, you know, smart plans or campaigns or whatnot. And so that way you can do things without really thinking about it all the time. You can put a system together where your database is getting touched by you through emails and text and through Facebook and through all these different things. And you can always go back to it, and you have a spot where you have thousands of people that you've collected, and you can just pull their name up and you got it all right there. And the reason why we can tap into that, if you think about like a doctor, just because he's a doctor and he leases a building, really his practice doesn't mean anything unless he has an actual database full of clients.
Gotta have clients.
Patients. Yeah, you gotta have the patients.
Or patients for him.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is those patients, or most of them, are already booked out for the next 6 months. You know, before you even leave, they're like, all right, your 6-month appointment. And so just think, if you're going to go buy a doctor's office, would you buy one that has nothing set up, or would you buy one that has 75,000 people in a database, and for the next 6 months they have, you know, 800 appointments set? And so the database is super important. A lot of people, I don't think, realize that we're actually in that fourth revolution, big data and automation, artificial, you know, AI.
Yeah.
So big data and AI is huge right now. Our world's changing. There's a reason why these companies want the data so much. And the fifth thing is just continue to follow up with these people on a regular basis so that you stay in their face. As far as your business, same thing. Bed Bath & Beyond, they send you that $20 coupon every single month. They know that the odds are you're not going to use it. As a matter of fact, I want to, and don't quote me on this, I think I saw something where 5% of people that get those 20% coupons from Bed Bath & Beyond actually go back and use them. And so the plan isn't for them to take a 5% discount. Really, the purpose of those coupons, they send it to you in the mail and in your email, is really just to touch you and let you know, hey Ryan, we're open for business. Here's a coupon if you do decide to shop with us. I just want to let you know we're here for you, buddy.
That's
and they
huge.
do that enough. So when Ryan says, man, you know what? I need to go get this something for my house. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Bed Bath & Beyond. And what's cool about it, I actually have a coupon. You get there and it expired.
Me too.
Yeah.
You'll get another one. Don't worry. You'll get another one.
Yeah. Or if you're like me, you know, of course, the lady wants like the best stroller, and that particular stroller at Bed
gotta have it.
Babies R Us or whatever, it doesn't get the discount. So you go there with the coupon, and that doesn't qualify, but you still buy it, you know, and you still are there, and through all your all their follow-ups and marketing. So that's my 5 steps to stay inactive through all this.
Boom. That's a piece of content that everybody can take to the bank. And if anybody's at home needing some light reading, would you recommend this book right here during this time?
Changed my life.
Okay. I thought it might.
So I feel like it was thrown at me by the good Lord. I got it the day I started KW. And I didn't read it for the first year. So that Christmas came around, and my mom actually got it for me for Christmas. And she didn't really know what it was.
So your mom gave you this book?
For the second time. I had got it from
got
the
it.
team leader when I signed up.
Got it.
So I had it in the shelf for a year, didn't read it. So my second year in real estate, which that December for Christmas, one got it for me. And so I've always been motivated. So that January, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to all the Ignites. I'm going to refresh my business. I'm going to just take off, new year, new me, you know? So I'll never forget. It was probably like 3 or 4 weeks in. And it was like pouring rain. And I'm like, you know what? You know, as realtors, like, there's like no, like, there's no accountability. You can just stay home if you want, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I'm just going to stay home today. It's pouring rain. I'm just going to chill. And so what I did was, I was like, you know, I don't really want to waste my time. So I'm just going to start reading this book. And man, Gary Keller, he's just a good writer. So like, it just pulled me in, and like, I just really like related to it. And I read the whole book. And from that day on, man, my goal was to be the millionaire real estate agent. And so last year I got halfway there. So I don't want to, we don't need to talk about numbers too much, but between our
Sure.
team, we got halfway there, and
That's
we're
okay.
going to keep
We're in
that,
business. It's okay. I want people to see that you went from not being a million to finding this book, getting there. It's all good. It's all good, baby. I honor you for that journey.
Thinking big, man, thinking big. Our team, the whole team last year, if you pull the numbers up, we grossed in commission 497,000.
Yeah,
and it's just
that's
pretty cool to
awesome.
think that like we created something that can even generate that type of income.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're just scratching the surface. We're just really just getting the ball rolling, and to be able to, and so it really makes me a believer in that. And so you'll see agents that left KW, oh, you're drinking the juice. I'm like, man, why would you not want to follow a game plan? We don't have to reinvent the wheel, man. There's successful people that left blazing trails for us to follow. And I'm
That's
running
awesome.
down that trail, following it,
Baby.
I see the success at the end of the tunnel. So, and I don't want to waste too much time trying to be successful. I want to spend a lot of that time being with my family and doing things that are fun, just like anybody, so.
Well, not everybody, but yes, people like you and me, we that's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what, and I'm hoping through all this, I'm sure you are, you're able to spend time with your family, obviously, and teach your kids, be the teacher. And what's actually, this is our time. We've all been like kind of saying like, what, school teaches the kids, all the basics of life, but when do they teach them, like stocks and like business sense, and when do they teach them all that type of stuff? And we feel like that, I've heard a lot of people say the school system lacks that. Well,
Now's
guess
the
what?
time.
You're part of the school system now.
You're part of the school system.
My kid's stocks. Yeah, my kid has a little stock now. I bought him $25 worth. And so he's made we're on, I don't know if you can see I would show you my screen, but yeah, he's probably made $40 on his little $25 stock.
That's a big lesson to learn for a little one. And right now is the time to start. So that's awesome, man. I knew you liked this book, though. I had to bust that out because me and you've known each other for a few years. I know that was a big book in your life, and some people need to pick it up. They have a lot of dust on it right now.
What book are you reading right now?
So the book that I was reading, I actually have it in my room. I'm actually reading a book. It's called A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, but I've been reading a diverse amount of books right now. So I've kind of been going ham. Let's see another one that I just read recently. I read through this book again. That is business. It's called Mr. Schmooze, and I really recommend it. It's a really short read. Anybody can get through this and benefit. It's the art and science of selling through relationships, and that's a bomb book. So that's another one I just reread. So yeah, I love my books. I've been getting into Audible. Sometimes it just depends, man. I like holding the book and marking it up and, putting my highlights in it, but I've been doing the Audible thing too.
That's awesome. So my barber, not the barber that but my new barber, he sends me this book right here. And I'm like, well, you might as well read it. So I'm like a quarter of the way through there. And if you read it before, you kind of know what I mean. But he basically just goes through his whole day. And to me, the concept that I'm getting through it is like how he's making these wonderful relationships through his life all day long. He's calling like Olympic winner, hey, just want to thank you, or whatever. And he's having conversations with the prime minister here, and this guy, he's just connecting.
Yes. No matter how you feel about him, it's one of the best sales books and relationship books that there is out there, regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump. It just is. So
Yep. So I totally understand why people don't like him. He's allowed not some of the stuff he says. Like I have to roll my eyes. I'm like it's like I'm watching Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, he's our president, and I don't dislike him. I've always thought I've always kind of looked up to him as like before he got into a presidency, and as I think most people have, he was like
you're an entrepreneur. You can't help it.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he was like the first Tom Ferry. He wrote he's been motivating people to be successful for a long time. But here nor there, he's our president. We got to kind of stand behind him and just try to get through the hard times. And
that is very
it is what it is. He'll be out in a couple of years, and we'll have somebody else in there to even things out.
Here's another good one I had to bring out right here. The One Thing, baby. This is a lot of things. I mean, I'm working principles out of this book right now. I haven't read it in a while, but that's another Gary Keller book right there too, that if you guys haven't read, That's a good one. I didn't mean to turn this into a book review, but we mentioned books, and I got a few behind me that are pretty good. And I know the Millionaire
That
Real
book
Estate
right there
Agent
helped
had
me
to
out a
get
lot as
mentioned.
well.
Yeah, man, that's a good one.
The one thing, I read that one and I read The Shift. So those 3 books, I read them all back to back to back. And that is really what helped me out. The one thing, I think that's the people's biggest mistakes, is that they are looking for too much when they really should. They're trying to do too much when they should just focus on.
I've done it.
Yeah, we all have done it.
Yeah.
Well, I think the myth is like, hey, you should have, 7 streams of income. Even I was talking about having more streams, but you really don't want to mess around with more streams of income until you can master the one that you're doing that's going to really provide for you at a high level. And then you add a few other things to the side and stuff like that, and you get good at those. But
that's just
you
good
have to stay
old-fashioned wisdom
focused.
right there.
Staying focused on that one thing, and what you focus on expands. And if you never quit, I had a great conversation this morning before I got, I'm doing the e-commerce and learning how to first get an affiliate product, learning how to set up ClickFunnels, learning how to connect that to the website, learning how to build out the funnel. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you have to learn. And so, and a lot of through that, we actually had to get on the phone with GoDaddy for an hour. We had to get on the phone with, ClickFunnels or ClickBank.
GoDaddy's got great customer service, by the way.
They actually all had great customer. They walked us all the way through it. And it just took time and patience. But because we didn't quit, we're going to, eventually it's going to start producing income. But there was plenty of opportunities where, luckily I have partners that are helping me out with it. And so a few months ago when I had the ideas, I didn't put the action in to get it all set up because I really didn't have the support. And so sometimes people have to realize that nobody, we have relationships for a reason in our world. And so nobody can succeed alone. And so many people want 100% of everything, and they can't do 50% of the job. So it's like, they just want it. They're entitled, instant gratification. And you have to realize there's some people that have really good gifts, and it's nothing. If this guy is really, really good at, let's just say he's a good plumber and he enjoys it, but you're a really good business person and you're really good at marketing, like that's a perfect partnership versus having 2 plumbers that are like hitting each other over the head with wrenches because like they can't agree on anything. You know what I mean? Or 2 marketing guys that don't know how to do plumbing, like arguing with each other about, whatever. And so
no business
relationships,
mindset, skill
relationships
mindset
are important. You find that person that's going to help you get to the next level. That's going to help them get to the next level.
I've met a lot of successful people that say, you know what? I know what I know, but I hire people smarter than me. Jack Ma from Alibaba said that. A lot of smart people I know that have said that you know what? I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I hire those guys and I leverage other people's talents to expand on my vision. And that's just good stuff. We got a lot of fire in this little talk me and you've had today, Matt Cooper.
Yes, sir. I love it, man. Some of my closest people, they're like, all you talk about is money, but I'm like, it's not about money. It's about business more to being, and I do like the entrepreneurial avenue, but at the same token, you could take it all from me and I'll get it back tomorrow. And so money isn't everything.
Yeah.
You can really fool people with money. Here's a funny story about how materialistic really people are in this world. I heard this story. I was selling a house and the guy shows me a picture of the garage. We're doing an inspection. He's like, look, this garage can fit a Lamborghini in there. And of course we're like, wow, how'd you get that in there, or whatever. And he's like, well, it's my boy. And he starts telling us the story. And I'm just like, man, it just like really opened my eyes. So this guy, he had a medical sales company and there was about 5 of them and they weren't doing too well. And they were just thinking of ideas to like grow the business. And so one of them had the idea of like, hey, if we get an exotic car, like a Ferrari, it will attract people to work for us because everybody symbolizes that as success. So if the boss has that, man, I can work for him and one day I can have that. The guys bought this Ferrari and within 6 months, and this is the story that I was told. I don't know how true this all is, but it just, either way, it's a great story and analogy. And so 6 months later, he has a call center of like 1,000 people or whatever selling his medical products. And they have like 10 different exotic cars. And they're using these cars as the motivation to get people to work for them and to work hard for them. So the salesperson of the week would get the car for the weekend type of thing. And they had to just put cars everywhere. So the guy that the house we were buying, it just so happened he was a Pasco County sheriff, and that was his friend. So he just parked the car, and so he's a Pasco County sheriff that just gets to drive a Lamborghini, when he's bored because his friend, But it's just crazy how like you can go from like 5 to 1,000 people just because you bought an exotic car, and now people are going to buy into that, and that's right there is if you have to understand that like money isn't everything. Just because the boss has a Lamborghini doesn't mean you deserve it. You know what I mean? If he does have it, he's obviously worked hard to get that. And that's like what you'll hear people say, like, don't count other people's pockets, because you don't know where they've been or what they've done to get to where they're at.
And it makes me think of the guy, the business owner who goes to his employee and he shows him out into the parking lot to his Lamborghini. He says, you see that out there? If you work really, really, really hard this year, I can get another one.
Oh my God, I've seen that meme. That's too funny. Yeah, well, absolutely right. And like to me, and so there is that mindset of like being like an employee on a like for somebody that like you're just working for them. But what I like about, especially with being a team up, like a real estate team, is that we're pretty much all partners together. And so
yes,
like we get to like dive into the successes together. Like if a lot of the agents sometimes, we've gotten agents on our team that like they see me closing at a high level, but I've been doing this for a while and I work really hard. They come in, I don't see them pick up a phone for 3 months, and meanwhile they're mad at me because they don't have any business, and I'm like coaching them every day, spending all my time showing them how to do this, but they just refuse to pick up the phone and build a relationship with somebody and to do business with. And so they, those people feel envy when you're over there just closing 5-10 deals a month, and they're like, how the heck, and it's because they're just not really out there building relationships, or maybe their message isn't matching the box or whatever. You have to trickle it down and figure out where, that's where you master yourself and look in the mirror and figure out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. One of my biggest weaknesses in real estate
about that.
Yeah, one of mine starting. Well, let's talk about one of my biggest weaknesses in life, just in general, became one of my biggest strengths. So awesome. a gift to gab, man. You're the same way, bro.
Dude,
always
you got that.
Never talk, we can just talk. We could talk on this thing for hours. So in school, growing up, I would get in trouble like talking in the back of the class because I'm like, oh, my boy, hey man, this weekend I did this, or a cute girl, hey, yeah, Matt, quiet down back there, and so
always,
getting in trouble, and that's like, it became a weakness, in school. It started getting me in trouble. And, but then you fast forward, 20 years later, and
look what it's doing now.
Without this gift of gab, man, I wouldn't know, because I can talk well and I like to have the communication with people. It's really helped me thrive. And so that's just one way, like people don't realize that, the good Lord gives us all gifts, and how you implement it into the world, you have to go put the work in, but your gift will help you thrive in it. And so I don't really have many like skills and gifts, I would say, but talking really well is mine. And I have all 10 fingers and toes, and I'm
right there with you, brother.
Normal,
I feel that.
Decent normal, but I to be honest with you, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I can't build a house. You know what I mean? I could barely like put a.
You can sell one. You can absolutely sell one
up there from IKEA.
Nice. You installed that?
Yeah.
Nice job, buddy.
Kind of easy, but
that's my boy.
Now that I've been in this new house, I've actually been dabbing into some of my home skills. But for the most part, you don't need to have so many gifts. God's gonna bless you with a few of them, and you can figure out how you can implement that in people's lives. To me, like I said, that's been my only gift, is having that excitement and that energy of wanting to talk to people. And I've gotten out of my truck and people look at me from the driveway like, man, I knew I was going to hire you right when you got out of your car, man. Like I got like knocked back with your energy type of thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't know I could do that, but you just kind of going through your world,
Now you know.
But,
yeah, that's why I'm attracted to you, man, when I got here to Florida, because I'm the same way. I I don't have a ton of skills either. I used to like to think that I did, but my skill is connecting, creating relationships, and talking, and expressing ideals and articulating thoughts that I have and emotions and all of that good stuff. So, and that's what my dad taught me to go to school for. He didn't really send me to school to do well at science and math. He said, I want you to go to school and I want you to learn how to communicate with your peers. I want you to learn how to problem solve, and I want you to learn how to talk with the community. So that's what I went out there and did. I definitely took that to heart.
That's awesome. That's definitely my mindset, you know, and I've always had. So me and your dad would definitely have gotten along great.
You sure would have, man. He's way cooler than I was ever have been. So you'd like him a lot.
Nah, you're a pretty cool dude. And it's funny because,
Thanks,
you know, since we met, you have always tried to push yourself to do better in every business you've been in. And that's the difference between, you know, people that are seeing success. And when I say success, I don't always mean the dollar figure, but seeing success in my eyes is seeing a lot of people excited around you. And you're dabbing in success when a lot of people are cheering for you and they're excited for you because you've been able to like pick those people up and go through it. And so ever since, you know, we've met, I'm sure you could say the same for me, but for me to you, like definitely you've always been motivated. You've always trying to, you know, make the next, I mean, you come from contribution, you talk to agents on the daily just to help them grow and, you know, always there to help anybody. So those are good qualities to have. And just by being like that, you know, you're going to always make it in life. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a kabillionaire. I think people take the money thing too seriously. But at the same token, you have to have a good work ethic to really maintain a lifestyle that your family and that you guys desire. And so I really enjoy the hustle doing that. But at the same token, I like to stay grounded and remember that money is everything. When you die, you're definitely not taking that stuff with you. And building a life that you can leave behind you and for your next generation. And I can tell you something, man, that kind of surprised me, but I heard this in Bold and then I brought it to my dad and his reaction. And basically what they said in Bold was, you know, where is in 20 generations from now, where are those people from your generations going to be at? And I was like, damn, I was just thinking of like where my grandkids are going to be at. Could you imagine 20 generations from now? Like they had grandkids all the way down. And so you're thinking, and, you know, you think about like a company like Ford, you know what I mean? They worked so hard that now their grandkids and they're like on their 7th generation or whatever of the money, and they're still like living lavish, you know? And so imagine creating something like that can just trickle down generation. So I actually, I'm not saying that my dad, you know, everybody has different mindsets. And so I actually mentioned that to my dad, and he actually, his words were, that's all hypothetical. And I'm like, well, in our case, we're all men. So like we have the control of that. And I have 2 boys. So obviously odds are they're going to go and reproduce. So the odds are we're going to have generations to come, you know what I mean? So it's not really hypothetical. And so I think a lot of people think that this is a hypothetical type of life. Like you're not really worried about the people after you die. Like, but you know, that's the reason why we have life insurances and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, how powerful would it have been to create something that had a residual income connected to it? And, you know, and you're able to show your kids and family and from generation on, you have a business that they can work it and create more opportunities and stuff. So I try to think big like that. And I appreciate like all the motivation and stuff like that from like KW for even making me think big like that. But, you know, and you bring it down to like your normal person level and they're just like, what do you mean? I thought that this all ends after the you know, whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
yeah, that's actually interesting to really stretch it out that far. And buddy, I've known you for a long time, and you're a big thinker. You are a shining star. You are a leader. I'm super proud of you. I've watched your journey over the years, and even as we've been distant and being able to see you grow your team and see stuff on social media that you've allowed everyone to kind of peer into. You do huge things, and you're practical. I know you're not all about the money, but the reason that you get the money is because you are living by a certain amount of thinking big and values and principles that I love about you. And I'm so glad that we were able to connect today, because I've got a lot of stuff here that is going to go out and people are going to get inspired by it because, buddy, you're inspiring. You got the great mindset, and I'm really, really happy to be in your circle. And I appreciate you a lot. Just wanted to love on you real quick.
just to touch on the money, and like when you
Yes.
this is whenever I pray about money, I don't pray about money so that I can go buy like cool stuff. I pray that way I can have control of the money, and I can make sure that the money is working in the right ways, giving back to the community and all that type of stuff. So I feel like if I can become really successful and I can attract all the money, I can spend it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And so, which kind of, it does lead me to I want to just tell you this story. I think it's my best friend DJ. I grew up with him. He's an only child. His dad was from Georgia, lived on like 100 acres, moved into the suburbs of Brandon. And so in his garage, he had all these toys, a boat, he had a dirt bike. I mean, he had all this stuff from living out in the country type of thing. And so at a young age, I've always, I met him when I was 4 years old, and I was like his only brother in essence. We were best friends, and he was just like, take my dirt bike, oh, you come ride on, the boat with us and let's ski, every day. It was something new. And so, I actually was able to like repay that back in a really cool way just recently. And, I sold him a house, and so fast forward to this day and age, he's a Pasco County sheriff as well, and his wife's a teacher. And so they don't make a whole lot of income and stuff like that. And I had just bought a brand new dirt bike last year. We were just talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
And I got my son one, and my assistant got one, and like we all got dirt bikes. And all I could think about is my best friend DJ as a kid. Like, he always was like, take my bike, like let me, it didn't matter. His dad had one and he had one, so he actually had two. And he would let me ride his little one he got for Christmas, like all the time. It was just like cool. So
I love it.
I tell him, hey man, you're buying this house. We're closing in like a month. I want to take some of the commission and buy you a dirt bike. And he's like, what do you mean, dude? You do not have to do that, man. You worked hard. He's like, nah. I was like, no, I feel like it's right. Like, it's only right for me to like be able to like repay you back to do this. And I was like, don't worry about it, So obviously, like, he goes home, he like tells his wife's like, oh, you're my guy, you don't need a dirt bike. If I told my girl, she'd be like, you're buying my dirt bike? Are you crazy? Nobody understands, you know what I mean? But it's none of their business.
You do.
And this is where I mean, like, money isn't everything. And so this is now going to be to create a lifetime of memories. And so we versus giving him the money to go buy the dirt bike, I already knew his wife would have took the money and went and bought a fence or something crazy for the new house. So
flooring.
So yeah, I took $3,000 out of the closing money, and I went on Craigslist and I bought him a dirt bike, and I was able to give it to him and present it to him. I didn't like post it on Facebook or anything. I didn't even tell anybody about it, but I just figured I'd share it through this just to,
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did share that, because people need. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
So we go riding now all the time now, and we get to recreate memories from when we were a childhood, and it's super fun, man. And that was just something that I did recently. I just wanted to kind of share that with you.
No, that's awesome. You know what? I love that, because I learned a few things from Bold too. I'm a Keller Williams agent at heart. I learned from Mo Anderson, Diana Kokoska, Gary Keller, and I'm a graduate of Bold in 2016. And what I remember was that this money thing is to fund the life that you want to live. And if you want to live a life of service, people should be happy that you're getting funds, because you're able to give back. Right now, people that have the ability to create income are using it for good, using it to help people that are without right now. I see people coming together, and that energy of money is being able to be used for good things by good people. So, it's beautiful to live in the United States of America and have the opportunity to have this type of mindset, create income, and then filter that out into the community, to your church, to people from childhood friends that used to let you ride the bike that you never had, and give back and be of service. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. I love you shared that story, man. That's
what success is all about. It's just that's what should make you want to be successful, to be able to have the opportunity to do that. Mo Anderson said this, and like, I don't know how people feel about it, but I thought it was great. She's like, respect rich people. They're the ones paying, helping everybody out. You know what I mean? And if you think about it, so many people dislike rich people, like it's like they got something wrong with them because they made too much money or something. You know what I mean? But like, if you think about,
do. Mm-hmm.
And some are selfish and greedy, but when you think about most money, and we learned this, money is gonna show people your true colors. And so either
Amplifies.
if you were a selfish little greedy little bastard before you got money, you're probably going to be a big selfish
Even
greedy.
bigger one.
Yeah. But if you were always generous like you are and like I am, and you always were happy to give back, and you want to come from contribution, you want to help out families, you're going to get money and just be a bigger example of that. You're going to want to give it and do that in a big level. You know what I mean? It's going to give you the
support
power
you to
do
get
that.
there. I want to help boost you up to get there because I need you to be able to do that.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
No, man, we've got a lot of great mentors out there, and you are a mentor to many. And this video is going to have some great points and nuggets that people are going to be able to take with them during this time to think bigger, like my man's thinking big, and be able to step out of this a leader and plant now during this time to improve your life, to improve your health, to improve your family life, your relationships, and your business. Like right now is the time to really step in there. And I knew I had a step forward kind of guy this morning with Matt Cooper from Keller Williams and from Brandon, Florida. And that's my guy right there. Give me a little fist bump. I can't physically touch you, but I'm going to try to get a little fist bump here. Boom.
Yes, sir. Social distancing at its finest. But
for now.
I appreciate you calling today. I got to run. Got to get back to work. My headphones died. My phone's going to be dying soon, man. We'll be talking all day long. We'll definitely connect after everything. And see how we can help each other out in fatherhood and faith and work. That's what
I want. That's what I want.
Family and everything that all under the sun, you know, it's not just about making money. The money's going to come. Be the best version of yourself and service the world and as many people as you can. And you're going to get paid to do it and more ways than you can ever imagine.
That's a great way to end this recording, man. Peace, my brother. Thanks for all your wisdom today.
Thanks, Big Ryan Owens. You take care, buddy.